Hello and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of May, I believe. And I'm just recording this at St. Mary's in Edgerton. And as I'm doing so, I can hear the kids across the street at the playground. And I can hear them playing. And it made me start thinking about play. I've mentioned before that my husband and I are preparing to move our home. So there hasn't been a whole lot of playing happening, a whole lot of work and a whole lot of frustration and sort of scratching our heads and quite a bit of procrastination. Not a lot of play. But hearing the kids, the laughing and the giggling and the mom one more time out there in the playground reminds me of how important it is that we all just let our inner child loose once in a while and play. What does your play look like? Maybe you like to play cards with your friends, a good poker game on a Friday night. I would be a great person to play poker with because you get all my chips because I am the worst card player ever. You'd beat me, over and over. Maybe playing means to play a sport, baseball or hockey. We're wrapping up hockey season. The Stanley Cup playoffs are on, and the Canadian teams are doing pretty well. It seems like the series are all going to multiple games. We haven't got any winning streaks happening, so that makes awesome watching. And for a hockey fan, that's a big thing. But baseball has started up, and pretty soon the kids will be out. I think they're already out for soccer and things like that. So maybe soccer or baseball or hockey or basketball is your playtime. A pickup game with the buddies after school or after work. Maybe your play is to read a book or to chat with a friend or go for a walk. Whatever it is, I think that play should be fun. Now, I think there's lots of things like playing football, things like that, or playing something. You can get serious, like you can get right into it, and it isn't always fun, especially if you're playing a game and you're a bit competitive and you don't win, then. But in the heart of it, you should be able to walk away from play as opposed to organized sport on purpose. I mean, like if you're in a league or something, there's a purpose. You're learning the game, you're building teamwork and all those things. And sometimes that's not as much fun, but there are other benefits to it. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about playing, like little kids in the sandbox or playing marbles or swinging on the swings or sliding down those ultra hot metal slides that somebody in their wisdom made up for kids with bare legs and shorts. But when you play, when we're really, really playing, we let go of ourselves. Even as adults, if we're really into something, we're playing hard, we forget the worries of the day. We forget about our boss at work. We forget about, that there's some stress at home. For a few minutes or a few hours, we get to just let our imaginations fly. And we get to let go of all the crap that hangs off us sometimes. We get to sort of throw that coat off and allow ourselves to just be in the moment. And there's something really powerful about being in the moment. When we play, we refresh ourselves. We probably laugh a little bit, which is so good for the soul, not to mention good for your lungs, because when you laugh, at least when you start laughing, I think you take some deep breaths. Now, if you laugh like I do, you laugh till you can't breathe. It's actually, me laughing makes other people laugh because it looks like I'm having an asthma attack. Anyway, it's ridiculous. But this idea that we need to play, it's built into us. Children know how to play. Have you ever watched children when they don't have, like before they're old enough to say, I'm bored. But when they're little, they can pick up a stick, and that stick becomes an orchestra conductor, or it becomes a spear or a gun, or maybe they're out in the safari hunting for lions, or a tree becomes not simply a tree, it becomes an obstacle course. It becomes a new world when they climb up the branches or climb up the trunk of the tree and get up in the branches and jump out and scare their sisters. Playing allows us to go places the world says we can't go. Playing allows us to use our imaginations in ways that as we get older, we forget how to use them. Playing opens to us a whole world of possibilities that we way too often forget are there. Children often have imaginary friends. I had an imaginary friend. His name was Dickie Mundy. And the only thing I really remember about Dickie Mundy is that we had a drain on our back porch, like our back patio. It was a big cover, like about that big. Looked like a big pie plate, and it had a circle in it. All the water can go down there. And apparently Dickie Mundy pulled it up and took all of my mom's clothespins, the wooden clothespins to hang for outdoor hanging, like drying your clothes. Took them and laid them all neatly in there and then put the lid back on. And when Mom couldn't find her clothespins, we didn't know anything about it. Dickie Mundy hid Mom's clothespins. But I don't know where Dickie Mundy came from, but he was my friend. He was my companion. I had a little baby sister, but she was no fun. And here I was, a 2.5-year-old or 3-year-old who had a friend. And it didn't matter that no one else could see him. I had a friend that I could play with and I could pretend with. Now, we tend to frown on people having imaginary friends the later in life we get. But there's something about knowing that there's another person, another being that we can talk to, that we can pour our heart out to, who we can tell a joke to, that we can laugh with, that we can make absolute fools of ourselves and know that they're laughing with us, not just at us, even if they are also laughing at us. And those friends may indeed be imaginary sometimes. And that's not that bad a thing. Now, if it's a mental health issue, of course, it's something different. But sometimes we just need to know we're not alone. So there's this idea of, every once in a while I bring back Dickie Mundy. And I know that Dickie's not around. I know that Dickie wasn't real. But Dickie was real in that Dickie gave me peace and gave me companionship. And so sometimes I think it's powerful to have that companionship. As a Christian, I believe that I continue to have that companionship in a different way. Not just for playing, but for all parts of my life. I believe that I have Jesus and I have the presence of the Holy Spirit. And there are times when the Holy Spirit comforts me. Sometimes we refer to the Holy Spirit as the comforter or the advocate or the helper. And there have been times when I have been hurting and I have been lonely and I needed to feel a hug, and I have. And I know that makes me sound kind of crazy, but even though there was nobody around, I actually felt the presence of someone hugging me so tight I had to say, let go a little bit because I can't breathe. And it brought me peace. But there have been times when I've also felt the Holy Spirit with me for fun. Almost like the Spirit just joined me for a joyride, just to see where we would go today, just because. I'm an introvert and I don't have a whole big parcel full of friends. I have a few people that I hold close to me, and that's cool. It's how I run. It's how I've always been. And I appreciate that I can be like that. But there's also something really powerful about knowing that sometimes when I play, sometimes when I'm all by myself and I come across a park and I go over to the swings and I close my eyes and I pump my legs like crazy and I'm flying through the air, I can feel the Holy Spirit present with me, my friend, not imaginary to me, but my friend, invisible, yet present, flying along with me, that wind that flies around me as I swing back and forth, as I close my eyes and lean back and feel the wind on my face blowing through my hair, reminding me of times past when I was at my grandpa's house, at the farm, on the old tree swing, knowing that no matter what, I was safe and I could fly through the air and he would be there to catch me if I fell. I never fell. He never had to catch me, but I always knew he would if he had to. But there's a sense of sometimes being able to just kick back and play, like listening to the kids across the street and looking forward to this incredible, right beside the playground, there's going to be a splash pad this summer. They've already begun work on it. And knowing that those kids will have that much more laughter and that much more fun as they get to just be kids. Maybe that's what we need more of. Permission for us adults, us old fogies, to just play, to have some fun. So how would you play? If you could kick off your shoes after work today and or tomorrow and plan for yourself an hour of unadulterated, pure fun, what would you do? Would you go for a walk? Would you play with your dog? Would you play a game of poker? Would you go and play a pickup game of basketball? I think I'm going to go and try to find a swing set today. Some place where I can climb aboard and close my eyes and pretend I'm sailing around the world, flying through the air, knowing that if I fall, I'll be caught. But I won't fall because it's just play. Have a good play day today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel on Thursday. God bless everybody. Have fun.